warm welcome to YFLO Delhi's first event of the year. We begin this evening with a cherished YFLO tradition, the lighting of the ceremonial lamp, symbolizing new beginnings and positivity. May I invite Mrs. Namita Gautam, Mrs. Chadha Pernia Qureshi and Poonam Mahajanji, along with Tanya, on stage to do the honors. Light that represents knowledge, wisdom, and positivity.
Yes, please.
Today's evening is about celebrating that power through conversations that inspire, perspectives that resonate, and stories that stay with us. FICCI, established in 1927, is India's oldest and largest apex business organization. As a non-government, not-for-profit body, FICCI represents the voice of India's industry. It plays a key role in shaping policy, encouraging dialogue, and connecting businesses with government and civil society. To begin, it's my absolute pleasure to invite the chairperson of YFLO Delhi, Dr. Tanya on stage.
Thank you, Pankuri. Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm not too loud. It's truly special to see all of you here today as I begin my journey with YFLO as a chairperson 2026 to 27. I step into this role with deep gratitude and a strong sense of purpose because YFLO is just not a network. It is a platform for women to grow, lead, and create meaningful impact. As you must have guessed by now, the vision of this year is Lead with Your Light. It is about finding the spark within ourselves and using it to illuminate others in our path. I have been fortunate to be guided by very strong women in my life, especially my moms, who have shaped my understanding of strength, grace, and resilience. And my daddy, who defines being a strong woman and has always led all of us with her light. And thank you for hosting us today. So, now about YFLO. Within this ecosystem, YFLO stands as one of the most dynamic and impactful communities, founded by Ms. Namita Gautamji. YFLO is Delhi's largest women business and networking forum with 2 decades of legacy. At its core, YFLO is about empowering women, whether through leadership, entrepreneurship, or skill building. Our vision is aligned with the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, both purposeful and future-focused. Now, I would like to announce our beautiful, strong, and inspiring committee. Can I request all of you to come on stage as I take your name? Our Senior Vice Chair, Sana Bector, Junior Vice Chair, Vardha Sharma. Our core team includes Stuti Gupta, our Secretary, Daman Kaur Banga, and Akansha Mittal, our Co-Secretaries. Soumya Agarwal and Vedika Modi Agarwal, who lead key function in financial direction. Shreya Malhotra, Pankuri Nandi, Neha Bector, Shivantika Agarwal, Kashmira Dalmia. Guys, please come on stage. Kashmira Dalmia, Rashi Anand, Isha Behel, Niyati Bhandari, Komal Dhut, Mehak Jaipuria, Radhika Goenka, Sachi Sehgal, Urvi Shriram, Divya Arya, Rajni Jain, Vasudha Sehgal, Neha Verma, Riddhi Mangla, Pallavi Pratap Malik, Raghavi Lamba, Priyanka Bhubna Agarwal, Priya Chekara, Stuti Singhania, Riddhi Nadda, Janvi Agarwal, and Himani Bansal. Guys, this is a dynamic, committed group of women focus on areas like education, menstrual hygiene, skill development, environmental sustainability. From supporting thousands of young girls through hygiene programs to skilling centers and plantation drives, our efforts are designed to create long-term, meaningful impact. Because of us, partnerships go beyond branding. They are about real impact. Now, the big reveal, the calendar for April and May. So on the 20th of April, we have Rijuta Devrekar, who is going to be coming for a talk on nutrition right here at Hyatt. May is going to start with our coffee mornings for member integration, followed by our mini retreat, which is going to be in Pune. So Serum Institute has given us permission to visit them, and we're really looking forward to this one. Now, can I have Akansha on stage to introduce our next speaker?
Thank you, Tanya, and congratulations on your year. We are all very, very excited. And thanks for giving us all the sarees. That was a special touch. Good evening, everyone. Today is not just a gathering. It is a coming together of women who are shaping ideas, identities, businesses, and culture in their own ways. This evening is centered around presence, how we express who we are, and how that expression influences the spaces that we occupy. Beautiful Pernia. Our next speaker has not just been a part of the fashion industry, she has helped shape it. From redefining how India engages with luxury fashion to building one of the country's most influential multi-designer platforms. She has changed the way we discover, experience, and consume style. Her journey is a powerful blend of curation, entrepreneurship, and vision, where fashion is not just about what you wear, but how you build a brand, a voice, and a point of view. She represents a shift from simply following trends to truly owning your narrative. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Pernia Qureshi for the fireside chat with our very own Dr. Tanya Nijhawan.
So thank you, Pernia. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And I would really say that I really look up to what you've done. From styling at Aisha to which was one of my favorite looks of Sonam Kapoor at such a young age. So kudos to you, and really looking forward to this chat with you. So I'm going to start. Since you're so used to asking the question on your own podcast, what would be the first question that you would ask yourself?
Oh, that's a good one. I would ask myself that now that you are older and you know better, the next time you start a business, what would be new, which will be at the center of it for the new world? Because when we started Pernia's pop-up shop, it was not a completely digital economy, right, in India. It was just starting, online shopping was just starting. Myntra and I think Flipkart had just started.
Yes.
So it's a new world, right? So starting a business for a new world will take completely different pillars. It will take a whole different ethos, different ideas. I think I would ask myself that because that's something very important to think about when you're, when you make and sell businesses, you're not doing them at the same time. So everything changes, right? When you do it the next time. Yeah, I think I asked myself this question. That's why I'm saying this.
No, actually, that's a great one. I think every decade, things change, right? With AI coming in now, we need to really know what is really next, what is coming up, and how do we tweak our businesses according to that. So thank you for that. So again, from styling at top media houses to Aisha, to building Pernia's pop-up shop at such a young age, and now creating content with podcasts and your books. Is there something that you don't do? And what drove each reinvention? And how did you know when to take that leap?
I think it's a matter of idea and timing. I think I'm a creative person at the core of who I am. I was a classical dancer. I started dancing at the age of 4. So I think that seed of creativity and thinking outside the box and just being a free spirit started very early. And so when it comes to the first business or the podcast or the book, it just starts with an idea. I get an idea, and I think what happens is a lot of times when I get an idea and I keep thinking about that idea, then I realize that I need to pursue it. So I'm pretty decent at going from ideation to execution. And I only do it for those ideas that I can't stop thinking about. So even the podcast, it's been 2 years now.
Yeah.
And I began the podcast because I had just had a baby and I had sold my business and I wanted to still work, but I didn't want something too time consuming initially. So, and at that time, every other person was not a podcaster. In 2 years, things have really changed. So that's why I started that. It was an idea, it was the right time, so it's a matter of when you get the idea and when the time is right. Yeah.
Perfect. So that actually takes me to my next question. What advice do you give the women here when they ideate, and how do they actually just execute? Anything, I think a lot of women end up being stuck in ideation and delay the execution, or sometimes just not.
I think it comes from a few apprehensions, right? Like one is fear of failure. You don't want to start something because you think it may not be good enough, and you keep waiting for the right time, and then the right time never comes. Like it's the same thing like when you're having a baby, you think you'll be ready, but you're only ready when you actually have it. Right? So it's the same thing. Like people have apprehensions because they have a fear of failure. They think the time is not right. I think that there's apprehension also with the amount of work that has to go into something new. I do get this also before I'm starting a new business or I know I'm about to get very busy. I start getting anxiety from before, being like, oh my god, I'm going to get so busy. Because then you have to be much better organized also.
Yes.
So it's the apprehension of then planning your life, being more organized, and all that takes a lot of work, which is very discouraging, right? If you're living a good, comfortable life, then you really don't want to bother yourself, right? It's hard. It takes a lot of motivation. You have to love what you do to get that motivation.
No, that's right. I mean, that's what, starting of this year, I was just, end of March, I was like, oh my God, I have so many things to do with work and now YFLO. And all I told myself was, I need to be very organized.
Yeah.
So, yes. Something else that my dad always tells me. So, that fear of not being able to achieve something, not being able to do something, I think it's in all of us. And every time I tell him, he's like, तो क्या हो जाएगा? क्या हो जाएगा? Fail हो जाएगा, ये business नहीं चलेगा, क्या होगा? So I think that has really encouraged me. Now back to our questions. What was your biggest, this failure moment? And what did it teach you?
Oh, that's also a good one. I think I think the two times where I was very disappointed in myself as a person in business or as a grown-ass woman, I think the two times I was very disappointed was, and they were both because of the same problem. And then I realized that it will keep happening until I don't learn from this, is when I was, I think cheated is a very strong word, but when I was, well, I guess I can say cheated because of not being as detailed in my contract as I should have been. So then I realized how important it is to have the patience to do your paperwork with a lot of diligence. And the thing with me is I get impatient and I want to move on and move things and close things. You can't do that. So the two times I was disappointed was because of a contract that did not serve me, or it was a loophole was created. And I think if you're doing anything which can protect you by a contract, then you should be as detailed in that as possible. And I've learned that I have to be patient with that process.
You've not built a business, you've not built a brand, but you're actually influencing the fashion market or the fashion industry. When did you realize that?
I realized that a lot of, at that time, when I started my first business, most designers didn't have their own online shops, right? And I discovered that people would go onto my website not just to shop, but just to even see what is out there and what is good and what is new. And it became a platform for discovery. And then I realized that how influential that is, because we are choosing who goes on that platform. Hence, those people get discovered by not only clients and people in the fashion industry in India, but all over the world. The whole diaspora, Indian diaspora all over the world is getting to know you and as a brand because you're on our platform, right? So I realized that when I realized that this platform does so much more than just shopping, it's a platform for discovery, I realized that true power really lies there. Yeah.
No, definitely. You have always have the best curations, the best brands. I'm a big fan and also, an online shopper. So thank you.
Yeah.
How do you see the Indian fashion evolving on global stage today?
See, India has been a huge source of, inspiration for sure, but even a huge source of textile and embroideries and manufacturing for global fashion for a very, very long time. So the biggest global houses, whether it's Dior or Giorgio Armani or you name it, they're doing their embroideries, they're doing a lot of their production in India, and then the pieces go back and then they're assembled in Paris or they're assembled in Italy, right? So India has already been a really big part of the global fashion economy for a very long time, and that's only growing. And in fact, for that, it's one of our biggest economies in India. We should be really doing a lot more for craft because it's such a big business.
Yeah.
So it's already been that. In terms of designers now, designers out of India, I'm seeing more and more presence of brands, Indian designer brands in foreign stores, so say like at a Selfridges or a Moda Operandi. Now you will find quite a few Indian labels which are showcased and sold alongside other global labels, right? Which is really nice.
Which is great.
And now you're recently seeing Indian designers opening stores outside of India, like Sabyasachi, and I think there was Anita Dongre who did it.
Yes.
So it's starting like the presence and appreciation for Indian designer wear is really starting to become more prevalent, which is nice. It's not as much as it should be considering the talent we have, but at least there's a start, right? Yeah.
Of course, like the Kolhapuri Pradas and the Gucci sari that we've seen of late, right? Even that's been a big hit with Alia Bhatt wearing the Gucci sari.
See, I think that's okay. The Gucci sari was okay because I think it was specially commissioned for her.
Yeah.
So it was commissioned for an Indian actress going on a red carpet. So I get it. It was a collaboration. But the Kolhapuri was a very different take altogether. The Kolhapuri was Prada making these sandals and not giving credit to where the original design actually comes from. And not even giving the order and the production to Kolhapur or to India where the chappal actually comes from. It's only when they got backlash that they kind of backtracked and then started giving credit. So that's actually cultural appropriation, which is very bad, which is done a lot to us and it should not be.
No, I'm so glad you brought this up because, when I would see it, I would just be like, oh, great, they're promoting Indian chappals, but thank you for bringing this up.
It's promotion when they A, credit where the design is from, and B, if they're giving the order for manufacturing to where the chappal is made, to Indians. Then I think it's the correct way to do it.
So at FICCI also, we really promote our handloom and our artisans, hence the saris today.
Yeah.
So now just any trends that are fading away with age, because I know there's a lot of talk about personal style now and not about the same fashion rules as we grew up with.
I think in terms of trends, right, and following trends, it's so personal. I see women, I see my mom, she's in her 60s, and she looks so good in shorts. Do you know what I mean? So it's so individual to the person, and then there are 20-year-olds who look terrible in shorts. You know what I mean? So I think you can't really define trends within age brackets. I think it really depends on who the person is, what their personality is, what they can pull off, what they're comfortable with. And and the thing is, even for me, what is age? It's just a number, right? Someone asked my age, I never remember. And then my sister is like, can you stop telling people different ages because they keep getting confused as to how old I am, I'm like, whatever I am, you're 2 years younger, just remember that. Yeah.
Thank you. So what inspires you more? Archives, street style, or the trends? So not the trends, archives or street style?
Both. I'm really, really inspired by archives. I am a huge fan of vintage fashion, of archival clothes. So even if it's like my mother's wedding gharara, which my nani stitched by hand. For me, that is a priceless garment, or if I go to a museum also, I'm so interested in the textiles. It's just, for me, archival fashion, even just photographs of archival fashion is so inspiring because you can get so much inspiration from that to make and wear things today, right? Because beautiful fashion is timeless. So something which was really beautiful in the 1920s can still be really stunning today. My grandmother left me a brocade blouse from the 1940s with a bow. And she was very inspired by the British. So she made it for a sari. So she gave me a short brocade blouse. I can wear it as a crop top also. Or I can wear it with a sari. And it's so beautiful. So I love archival fashion. And then having said that, I love street fashion on the right streets. Depends on where you are. If I'm on a bench in Paris, I can sometimes just sit there and just have my coffee and just watch people go by. And it's sometimes, now I don't go to Fashion Week as much in Europe anymore because I just feel like everybody's there. But even 10 or 15 years ago when I was in Paris every Fashion Week, even sitting at the entrance and watching people walk in, the way they were dressed, and Japanese girls from all over the world, and it's so interesting to see how other people interpret fashion, because it's the same Dior dress, me, a girl from Japan, a girl from Singapore, a girl from South Africa will all wear it so differently, right? So street fashion is so interesting because you're really seeing everybody's interpretation of what is out there today, Tokyo, I haven't been since a while, but I would love to just sit on the street and watch people there, or Korea, yeah.
Great. Now that brings me to the next question. Have you looked at someone and thought, this outfit needs divine intervention?
To be really honest, those thoughts cross my mind all the time.
I hope not today.
No, not today. But I know they cross my mind all the time, but then I tell myself to mind my own business, because she's happy or he's happy, he's having a moment, it's who am I, Like, again, like passion is so subjective, right? Like who am I? Like I can have an opinion about someone needing divine intervention, but if that someone feels great and 3 other people who they love think they look good, then who's anyone else to say? It's so personal. And I think that's the thing, just be really confident and happy what you wear, because it doesn't really matter.
So this is very, very useful, girls. What are some fashion or beauty shortcuts you rely on very busy days?
So my standard, I drop my daughter and pick her up every day, but I go in all sorts of weird outfits because I'm always coming from somewhere or going somewhere. So I'm either in a cotton shalwar kameez because I'm going for my dance rehearsal in the morning, or I'm in like gym clothes hoping I will make it to the gym or to physiotherapy. But when I get to wear like real clothes, my go-to like no-brain is like a white t-shirt and blue jeans. Like jeans that fit me well and that are comfortable, that are not too tight, and like a nice comfortable t-shirt, because I feel like it's like a no-brainer. I will look chic, I will look decent, I will, I know that I will look polished and I'll be comfortable. It's like my no-brainer. Another quick hack for, a few things, like I think that women should have in their wardrobe are like, for example, nude underwear, like skin color underwear, so important. I think even shapewear is so great. I mean, like, I was always very athletic, but I didn't realize how important shapewear was until I was trying to lose my baby weight,
Yeah.
But it really helps because sometimes you just don't want to stress about how something is going to look on me, and you just wear shapewear, and then you know that, okay, at least the dress is going to look smooth and it's going to fall nicely, So I think shapewear, skin color underwear, fashion tape is really important. Even if you're not the kind of person who wears deep necklines and things, but even if you don't want your strap
To be falling off.
things like that. Also, I feel like a good darzi, like a good tailor or master can just fix like little things for you really easily. So for example, what I do is all my tops where I don't want the strap falling off and I don't want the bra coming down, up and down, I just put a little like titch button, like with a little string which attaches my top to my bra, like small little things like this. I feel like they're little hacks that like your local darzi can just do to all your clothes to make them just easier to wear,
Lovely, that's a great one. In fact, that was my next question. The top 5 wardrobe essentials. You've told us 2. Can we get the others, please?
Yeah, of course. I would say for Indian women, we end up wearing a lot of ethnic clothes. So I think obviously a beautiful juti, but not everybody is blessed with good height, right? And I understand, like in a sari, you do want that. It's a carriage thing. It's not even a height thing. When you wear heels, you get a nice carriage, in Indian clothes. So I think a good pair of metallic comfortable sandals. So like I would do like a gold metallic and I would do like a silver metallic finish. You just need like 2. And you can wear them under all your lehengas, sarees, whatever. They should be, ideally if you do a wedge, then at least they're comfortable, but you should have a gold finish, silver finish. I think it's important for Indian clothes, and then that your Indian clothes issue is taken care of. And then all your Indian lehengas and sarees you can do to the height. You know the height of the heel, so you can plan it, so it's easy. So I think that's super important. I think for the women who wear dresses, having a nice black dress is a no-brainer. It's called the
LBD.
Little black dress. It's something where you have an occasion and sometimes you're too stressed or tired or whatever. A dress that you know is flattering and fits you well and you can just take it out at any time. You need that one dependable dress. Sometimes it carries people through like 10, 20 years of their life, because it's so dependable and you know that it will look good no matter what. Like simple things like that, I think we all have too much in fact. We should do 5 things we don't need in our wardrobe. Because everybody has too much and needs to start cluttering, decluttering, giving away. I think that's a bigger problem.
It is.
Yeah.
Do you declutter often?
I try and do a spring cleaning. So like now, right before summer, I try and I get cartons and I take out things. And I started doing that a few years ago because when I wouldn't do it, my mother would just do it for me without informing me. And I'd be like, where is this? She's like, I gave it away.
Wow.
So then I was like, you know what, I'll just do it myself. At least then I'm in control of what is here and what is given away, because she gets anxiety with clutter. And she also believes that we should keep things in circulation, which is, if you're buying certain new things, you should be taking out old things, Ideally, you get one in, one out, right? You buy something new, you buy a pair of shoes, you take out a pair of shoes. That's ideal, but not everybody has the patience and time for that. So once a year, spring cleaning is good. Just kind of, when you're doing you're switching your wardrobe from summer to winter to summer, that's the best time to do cleaning, And then we give it away. I mean, we're from Rampur, so the cartons all go to Rampur. Then my dad's like, the kids running around with DKNY and all our cartons go to Rampur. So wherever you believe that, it would benefit people, just send it there. It's a nice thing to do.
Yeah, it definitely is. To have a wardrobe which is a little, I would say empty is just, I think, a secret to get ready. Though I'm a hoarder, so. If you could ban one fashion trend forever, what would it be?
I think it would be Crocs. I don't know how many people wear Crocs. You're a doctor. Doctors like Crocs.
Nah,
no?
not me.
So my child wears it. Now she started swimming in school, and so they're like it's comfortable. It's easy to walk around pools and all. But then I've heard that it omits something very toxic to the children also. So children also shouldn't be wearing it. So not only is it ugly, it's toxic also. So it's like, why are we wearing it? But for children, I guess you want something comfortable.
Yeah, it's just the comfort. I'm sure my daughter's here and she's wearing her
so
Crocs.
my daughter also went to school in Crocs today because now I cannot take them from her. That's the problem. But as an adult, we can avoid wearing them for sure. Yeah.
Perfect. Which 5 international or emerging designers are you most excited about these days?
Oh, okay. So I just did a jewelry edit. So Fashionably Pernia is my podcast, right?
Yes.
So we just launched our own website. I think we literally launched it like a week, 10 days ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So we're doing the first edit on the website is a jewelry edit.
Oh, wow.
So I've come across some really nice jewelry designers. There is a girl, her name is Bhavya Ramesh, and she makes silver jewelry. And she does, it's really funky, it's very cool for holidays. It's really fun. So we selected a few of her really cool pieces to be on the site. It's all like real silver, beautiful, really cool stuff. I just featured Kishan Das on my podcast.
Oh, wow.
So we went to their shop in Hyderabad, and I just felt like, like I told you, I love archives and vintage. The whole shop looks like a museum.
Wow.
And the amount of antique Basra and Golconda diamonds they have in that shop, I was just like, forget the podcast, I'll just sit here and try on jewelry. It was so beautiful. And being from Delhi in North India, it's just refreshing to see that something new. It's like because the Hyderabadi jewelers do like Nizami style and Deccan style of jewelry, which is slightly different from what we are used to in Delhi and Jaipur. So them I love. Who else? Let me think. I mean, I've always really liked 43188. I don't know if you guys must be knowing the brand.
Yes. Saris.
I think she does a very good, she's found a very good bridge between style and comfort.
Yeah.
Because her clothes are very comfortable, but they're stylish, so she's like, you don't have to let go of the comfort and you still can look very good, and her clothes are very flattering.
Yes.
I've noticed they look good on most body types. And I like her contemporary wear also, like her shirts and dresses, and her Indian also. So I think she's kind of covered all the boxes quite well.
Yeah, she's very good.
Plus, I think she looked lovely at her own wedding. She looked amazing. She wore one of her own white outfits. It was beautiful. Which other brand do I love? I mean, there's so many, and when you have to think, this always happens. So they're friends of mine. These two girls. They have a costume jewelry brand named Outhouse. And I just think Outhouse is such a good alternative for fine jewelry when you're going for destination weddings. It's just so easy. You just take a few fun pieces and you look cute and you don't have to worry about the headache of taking fine jewelry. They started bags, and I think their bags are very cool. And I've just done a review on the Chadha Pernia website of their store. They have a new store in Emporium Mall. So I've done a review of the shop, what I like about the shop, and if it's worth visiting and all. So you can check that review out. But I think overall it's a great brand. Yeah, so these are some of the brands that I love.
Perfect. I've seen everybody with their phones out taking the notes. So moving on, if your wardrobe could speak, what would it say about the woman you've become today?
I think it might say grow up. Because you know what, I have bags and clothes and shoes since college also. Honestly, I give away a lot of things, but sometimes I give away new things. And I hold on to things that are really special and either have meaning to me or still I find them extremely stylish. Like there are bags that are 20-year-olds that I carry with a lot of happiness, you know. The first designer bag that was ever gifted to me was, I think I was 18 and it was really small and I still have it and I'm never going to give it away, you know, yeah. So a lot of old things in my wardrobe from when I was younger, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
While I take over, I do have one last question before we begin a very fun rapid fire round for you. What is one fashion mistake powerful women still make, especially in India?
I think if you're powerful and you're a woman, you're not making any mistakes. Yeah.
I've loved hearing all your answers. Thank you for being so real and so relatable.
Yes.
And we just want to do a really fun rapid fire round with you and seeing how clear you are in your mind. I was going to give you like a 5-second timer, but I feel that you would be able to answer it in 2 seconds. So let's make it fun, let's make it really rapid. So one word for success for you.
Independence.
Heels or sneakers?
Sneakers, but flats basically.
Thank you.
Yeah. Comfortable couture.
I love that. More. One trend you wish would disappear forever, besides Crocs.
Skinny jeans. I wish they'd never come back, ever. Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Vintage or emerging designers?
Vintage. I'm like such a, I don't know if I can use this word, but such a sucker for vintage. Yeah. I spend a lot of time and I can't sleep on Sotheby's website. I just doom scrolling on Sotheby's. Okay, what do they have now? What vintage this, vintage watch, vintage bag, vintage anything. Yeah.
What's your current styling obsession?
Styling obsession. I mean, I really like these knee-length, slinky skirts, like these mini skirts. I love them in the winter. I really like them in the summer as well. Yeah.
So my last question: a film that changed you?
I think Aisha changed me in terms of changed my career. And also it was such a good, fun experience for me. So I would say on a personal level that changed me and changed my life. But just as an audience, a film that changed me or maybe really inspired me, or I was just so taken aback by its beauty that I see it again and again and I'm still obsessed, is Pakiza. Yeah, I just think aesthetically, in terms of aesthetics, that movie was just so beautiful, like to all my senses, you know, like visually and the sound, and it was just, I mean, that woman, you know, like Meena Kumari, and I'm a dancer, and I don't think she was technically a very good dancer, but her face,
Expression.
you know, her expressions were just so, I mean, she was unbelievable, yeah.
We as a family love that movie.
Yeah.
Thank you. We just want to open the room for a couple of questions with Pernia.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for the impressive talk. So I'm a lawyer by profession, and I was really intrigued when you were talking about contracts and you were talking about the legal intelligence that one requires when going through their own business. So just wanted to understand, as you have a fashion marketplace, where there are a lot of brands that host their own products. So what steps do you think you or any marketplace take to prevent design or copyright infringement? Because a lot of efforts go when somebody is highlighting their own designs and products.
Yeah.
So wanted to understand that.
Yeah, so I mean, the one step as a business owner of a multi-brand setup, right? What I have been doing and I can take, which is easily, is to not get new brands on that are copying my existing brands, or copying very well-known brands. So, for example, just today I was looking at clothes from a new brand in the car because I just launched a new website, and a lot of the designs were heavily inspired by Anamika. And Anamika is not only a very good personal friend, but she is one of our legendary designers of India. And I don't want to encourage anybody who's not being original and copying her and making money off of her designs, you know. So you can just make sure that as a policy you do not you do not onboard any brands that make copies of other brands. And there have been instances in the past where unknowingly we have done it. And if a brand has come to us and told us that, listen, this person is copying us, could you please not put them? We remove them. Because I think there's a certain integrity you have to build your business with. And if you don't support the designers that work with you, then what's the point of any of it? You have to build a community where everybody's happy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are conscious about...
Of 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hi, wonderful listening to you. My question here was I was reading about you and you've written a book on being stylish, or it's called something on styling, and that's wonderful. So fashion in India is quite linked to being stylish also. You come from Rampur, Uttar Pradesh. I come from UP. I've stayed in a lot of towns in UP. Women like us, when we were growing up, we were told not to do any skin show and wear covered clothes. At the end of it, the little girls wanted to be stylish and they wanted to do a bit of skin show because that sort of did give them that edge of confidence. That's what happens when the girls are growing up. What's your take on that, on smaller towns where women take time doing that and they want to do it but they can't?
Yeah. You know, I think, like I said, independence and freedom are very, very important values for me. So I'm just blessed and lucky that I was able to grow in an environment that was very free in every way. Where I could go and even how I could dress, what I could speak. So I didn't have a personal experience in this, but having said that, I know I have a lot of friends and I know a lot of people who have restrictions. But you know, I think showing skin and being stylish are two totally different things. Like they are not necessarily related. I mean, I think some of the most stylish women in the world are Arab women and women from the Middle East. Some of the women who understand fashion the most, who are the biggest buyers of fashion all over the world, are women who don't show skin. And they look beautiful. So whether they're from India or from any other part of the world, I don't think showing skin is a prerogative to being stylish, at all, first of all. I know this influencer in Bombay, she's stunning. The girl never shows skin. And she always looks amazing. I follow this blogger from Dubai. She in fact wears abayas, but I follow her because nobody wears clothes and accessories better than her. So, you can be super stylish whether you show skin or not. That's the first thing. And secondly, I think what happens is, I think what happened in a country like India is that growing up in the 90s, I can speak for myself, we wanted to be like the West. So the West would tell us that showing skin is cool and it's stylish. So we were kind of brainwashed by Hollywood movies and TV shows and Baywatch and whatever else was out there, that this is cool. And so as a kid, you want to be cool, So it's actually all your influences growing up. That's what teaches you, or that's what makes you feel like it's cool and fashionable. And then when you grow up, you become yourself and you really realize what is truly fashionable, and then you discover yourself. And then you also get freedom, because once you're an adult, your parent can't really tell you, what to wear, what not to wear. I mean, I would hope so, So I think it's just a process of growing up, and realizing who you are, and then defining that, and then realizing that what to you is fashionable or not, you know. So I mean, there are many layers to this answer. I'm sorry if I'm not exactly answering it precisely, but yeah.
It was perfect.
Thank you guys, thank you so much. As we come towards the end of our lovely time here with Pernia, can I please call Sameer Bijlani from Meena Bazaar and Radhika Rai from Amama Jewels to facilitate our guests.
Thank you so much.
Where we plant a tree in your name. I know, I love your brand. Growth, legacy, and the impact we continue to create.
That's the tree we're planting for you.
And that's that. And the Bible Committee for picture, please.
Thank you.
It is a pleasure to introduce someone who represents the new face of Indian politics. Articulate, dynamic, and rooted in purpose, Raghav Chadha is one of the youngest members of Parliament in India, serving in the Rajya Sabha and representing a generation that is redefining leadership with clarity, conviction, and courage. A chartered accountant by training, Raghav began his journey far from the glare of political limelight, working with global institutions before choosing public service, a decision driven not by legacy but by intent. He has emerged as a respected voice in policy and governance, known for his sharp communication, financial acumen, and focus on accountability. His work reflects a deep understanding of economic matters and a commitment to transparent, effective governance.
Recognized for his articulate presence and forward-thinking approach, Raghav brings a unique blend of intellect, integrity, and modern leadership, making him one of the most compelling young voices shaping India's evolving political narrative. But beyond titles and achievements, what truly sets him apart is his ability to connect with young India, with ideas, and with the aspirations of a rapidly changing nation. In a world where leadership is constantly being redefined, he stands at the intersection of intellect and impact. Ladies, please join us in welcoming a change maker, a compelling voice in Indian politics, and someone who continues to shape the narrative of modern governance, Raghav Chadha.
Thank you so much, Raghav, for being here. It really means a lot. You know, you told me about 4 days back that that you're going to keep your word, and we're forever grateful. And that's you, a man of your word. So thank you for this.
Thank you so much for inviting me. As you rightly put, I've been in the news for the last 4-5 days for not so pleasant reasons. But I did decide to come simply because I had A, promised, and B, I wanted to meet everybody and be a part of this. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Leader of our times. So excuse me if I fumble a little bit.
As long as you don't ask political questions, I'm fine. I'm more nervous than you are.
So Raghav, at such a young age, you chose to enter politics. What inspired this decision?
So, while I was growing up and when I was in school, when you used to graduate from one class to another, on day one of a new class, the new class teacher used to come and she used to ask all of us that, stand up, tell me your name, your father's profession, so on and so forth, and what you would want to do when you grow up in life. So I remember throughout my school journey, I used to say that I want to join the Indian Army, and that was the sense with which I pursued my schooling. It's also to do with the fact that both on my mother's side of the family and my father's side of the family, we have many people who have served and who are currently serving in the Indian Armed Forces. So that was one dream, and I think it came from this sense of purpose that I want to do something for the country, I want to serve my country. The Indian Armed Forces didn't happen. I chose a completely different route in my life, which was to be a part of the finance world. I became a chartered accountant. But then, right at the time, I became a chartered accountant, and I was starting up a private wealth management boutique firm where I was investing money for NRIs who had parked their funds overseas, and I was bringing it back into India given the interest arbitrage that one had to play or could potentially play and make some profit back in the day. So that was one of the things that we did. But that time there was a big people's movement that happened, the anti-corruption movement in India, and I became a part of that as a volunteer. Like me, millions and millions of youngsters got into that movement, and then the rest, as they say, is history. That movement became a political party. We founded a political party. We fought elections, lost elections, so on and so forth. And the rest is, I think, pretty much in the public domain, so people know what has happened. So, quite frankly, I would say that it may sound as a cliche, but it's not that I chose politics, right? That was never my ambition or my career choice when I was growing up, you know. And India, we come from a society where whenever you are growing up, you know, your well-wishers, your parents, your relatives, very often will say that, you know, you should become a chartered accountant or an engineer or a doctor or a sports person or an actor. Nobody would say कि बड़े होके नेता बनना, you know. So it's not that this was my training or my calling in any way, but it just so happened.
Well, that leads me to the next question. You represent a new generation in Indian politics. How do you define leadership in today's India?
So I would say, see, leadership is less about the office that you hold or the title that you have, and it's more about the impact that you can bring, right? How empathetic are you? How well do you understand the ambition, the curiosity, the inhibitions of your team, of your organization? And it's largely to do with the impact that you can bring about. It's not necessary that leadership is only demonstrated in, in the field of administration, when you're running a government, or in form of a political party, when you're leading a party. It could be in your business, in your profession, at your house, at your home, when you have to sort of, bring together a family and raise a family, so on and so forth. So leadership is quite frankly there in every aspect of life. And I've said, it's more to do with impact and less to do with your designation and your title.
Thank you. So what does real influence mean to you beyond the titles and the position then? It's creating an impact. If you could just, expand a little bit on this.
So, of course, it's about creating impact, right? And from the lens that I view impact, because I am from the world of politics and from the world of governance, the biggest impact that one can make in today's day and age, and the sheer quantum of people that a government or an administration can touch is huge, right? Now, all of us in our personal lives, let's say, do some charity, donate some money, or subscribe to, let's say, an NGO that teaches the underprivileged children, or does some medical treatment for people who are not so well healed, so on and so forth. That's great, but that's limited impact. If the government really wants to do something big for the country or for the society, they have a much bigger sort of canvas to impact the lives of people. With one signature, a minister can change the lives of several million school-going kids. With one signature, you can give affordable housing to millions and millions of families across the country. So governments in that sense and administrations in that sense have the real sort of impact making abilities which must be leveraged. So to my mind, that is the kind of impact that we see and deal with on a day-to-day basis, and that's the real impact that one should sort of kind of look towards, I would say.
Yes, definitely. So politics, of course, comes with intense scrutiny. How do you stay authentic under constant public gaze?
Look, one of the ills of being in public life or being let's say in the media glare, is the invasion of privacy or constant scrutiny, right? So constant scrutiny in that sense is still good because it keeps you on your toes, keeps you alive, keeps you aware, and it should be embraced by everybody who's in public life, and particularly by those who are in public life vis-a-vis politics and administration. But as far as invasion of privacy is concerned, that's of course, it's a pro and, as you say, there are pros and cons. It's one of the cons of being in the media and in the media glare. So it's something that I've seen up close and personal, and it starts with something as simple as somebody just very quietly keeping their phone and just recording what you're eating in a restaurant to, I don't know, I mean, watching closely what stories you like on Instagram and so on and so forth. So everything in that sense is part of your public life. So one needs to be very careful. But having said that, I feel that if you are true to yourself, if you have, if the ethos of integrity and the ethos of transparency are imbibed well in your character, in the way you lead your life, then I think there's less to worry about scrutiny and invasion of privacy.
Thank you. And like you've always stayed authentic, right? He said he's given us his word, and there he is. So thank you again. In moments of uncertainty, what guides your decision making?
Look, see, every now and then there are moments of uncertainty and moments of, even I would go to the extent of calling it fear, right? If I choose A, what will happen? What will be the repercussions? If I opt for B, what will happen? If I opt for C, what? So of course, uncertainty, fear, being afraid, so on and so forth, are part and parcel of one's life. What keeps you guiding? To me personally, and I'm a deeply religious guy, is the faith in the Almighty God. And I personally do believe in the divine power of the Almighty God, and He, in many ways, I feel just shows me the way, the path, and that would be true for everybody who's a believer, right? So I'm a core believer, a hardcore believer in God. So I would say that it's Him under whose grace your uncertainty and your fear in decision making usually goes away.
So now, what is your vision for India over the next decade?
Well, India is at an inflection point in the world at this very moment. I feel everybody is looking at India pretty closely, and if one were to just look at it from the prism of investments and finance, back in the day, India used to be looked at as a destination for charity. Anything, whether it's your FDI, FIIs, or anybody who used to invest in India, it was more from the prism of charity. And now that has changed. Now betting on India is equivalent to betting on a winning horse. So in that sense, India is there on the map. But in the times to come, in the next 1 decade, I would personally would want to see India as a country that the world looks up to, and India as a country that looks after its own very well. And the real growth will ideally should travel down from the top to the bottom of the pyramid for everybody, as they say, for the Aam Aadmi, for the common man. That would be the biggest achievement of the next 1 decade, I hope. And then, of course, we can go sector by sector. I mean, how do we leverage AI for that matter? How do we augment our public transport? I mean, every sector of our administration in that sense can achieve real heights. But India is poised well globally, and I would say that the next 1 decade is for India to own, right? So in that sense, exciting times to come.
Thank you. So if in one sentence you can... in one sentence, if you can tell us what a better India is.
No, as I said, a better India is that the India that the world looks up to, and an India that looks after its own people. I think that would be the best definition of an India I would like to see in the next 1 decade.
Thank you. What are the biggest opportunities and challenges you believe we must address today as a nation?
Look, I have been very vocal inside the parliament as well as outside the parliament about artificial intelligence, and I think AI and technology is going to be the new oil in the coming times. Today, India is the consumer of AI. Something as elementary as using your generative LLM software, right? We have ChatGPT, we have Claude, we have DeepSeek, we have Grok, we have Gemini. Most of these are US based, 1 or 2 of them are China based. We are, if India has become a consumer of AI, we have not really become the manufacturer of AI. And I think that needs to change. India needs to move ahead in leaps and bounds when it comes to creating AI, maintaining AI, designing AI, and that should be one of the key focus of the government of India and for that matter all governments. So that I see is a big challenge currently, because we are neither designing, nor manufacturing, nor creating. We're just consuming, and whosoever controls AI and its related infrastructure, for that matter, is going to rule the roost. Like, for example, one of the most important aspects of the artificial intelligence ecosystem is the chips, right? Now, those smart chips, 95% of those chips get manufactured by one company sitting in Taiwan. And almost all the chips are designed by only one company sitting in the US called NVIDIA. So we are really lagging behind when it comes to the AI ecosystem, and that's something that we really need to address. Otherwise, we are completely at risk of losing this race.
Thank you. So, women make up 48% of the country. How have women shaped your life?
Well, I mean, the two women who really shaped my life, one of course is my mother, my first teacher, and I think that would be the case for everyone sitting in this room. I mean, from teaching me how to walk to teaching me how to be a good human being. Right? So life effectively, when you go to school, when you enter the world, life shapes you in many ways. You will learn new skills, you will get new degrees, so on and so forth. But the real education perhaps is about becoming a good human being, right? That is something that I would, if I've even become 1% of what my mother wants me to become, I would give all the credit to her. And she's perhaps one of the biggest influences in my life. Apart from that, of course, my wife. She's a great influence, and we can talk about her some other day.
So, we're in a room full of accomplished women. What role do you think women will play in defining India's next chapter?
Look, first of all, I think we as a society, we as a country need to first accept that women do not merely need representation. They also need to be active participants in our growth. Right now, that's a mindset change that needs to happen. Legally speaking, we are at a cusp of giving the best possible opportunity to 50% of our population by bringing in the Women Reservation Bill, which is supposed to be brought into Parliament on the 16th, 17th and 18th of April of this very month. So it will be a defining moment in India's democratic history, where 33% of women or 33% of the seats will be reserved for women, whether it's at the Vidhan Sabha level or at the Lok Sabha level. It's not yet come to Rajya Sabha yet. I hope that also happens very soon, and 33% reservation is there for women. But reservation is one thing, that you are doing this by the force of law. It's the real force of the statute that is making this available. But a mindset change also needs to happen, where representation of women or their role as the accelerator of growth needs to be at the forefront and recognized more by the other 50% in that sense.
Thank you. You've also been a vocal supporter of menstrual hygiene initiatives. In your view, what more needs to be done, both at policy and societal level, to ensure dignity, awareness, and access for every woman and young girl?
Yeah, so I did speak about this, I think, 4 Fridays ago in Parliament, when I, on a private member's bill introduced by a member of Parliament from Maharashtra, I spoke about the need for menstrual hygiene and menstrual health, and I kind of gave a detailed analysis of mine that how today, liquor or cigarettes for that matter are sold openly, but when a sanitary pad is to be given, it is wrapped in a newspaper and handed over to you as if you are accepting bribe in that sense, right? Or if something is being given to you which is illegal or immoral in that sense. So I think that again is a mindset change that needs to happen, and you'll be surprised at the numbers that I quoted in Parliament. I mean, significant percentage of young school-going girls drop out of school or are missing school on an average of 60 to 70 days in a year, merely because the school does not have facilities when she is undergoing her periods. And I made a pretty passionate sort of appeal that periods are natural, but stigma around it is not, and that is something that needs to stop. I did, of course, mention about how we need to ramp up our public infrastructure, particularly schools and colleges with equipments enough to sort of cater to women when they're undergoing their menstrual period. So those were my thoughts on that issue. I hope they were well received in Parliament, and those who were sitting on the Treasury benches listened to me and bring about some changes.
I hope so too. I really want to tell you that you had a big cheer from all of us at YFLO. We've been working on menstrual hygiene since last year with Ujjas from Aditya Birla Group. We have been building awareness about menstrual hygiene and safe practices of birth in grades 5 to 9 in Delhi public schools. This year, we aim to impact 34,000 girls. So you definitely had a big cheer from our YFLO team. Now coming to a little personal question, which I know everybody wants to know. How did you meet Pariniti? Sorry, I had to put that in.
So she and I both were invited to an award function in London. It was essentially to give awards to people who studied in the UK, then went back to their country and did something reasonably well in their careers, in their areas of work. So she was being awarded as an outstanding achiever in cinema. I was being awarded because she studied in the University of Manchester, and I studied at the London School of Economics. So I was being given an award as an achiever in my area of work, which is administration and governance. So we met actually, quite frankly, at that award function. Our tables were next to each other and we both were given an award. And after that, we met. So, we had a little chat and she said, we'll catch up sometime soon. And I said, yeah, I'm in town tomorrow, let's meet for breakfast. So then the following morning we met for breakfast. We actually both, she and I met in a group. Like I went with 3 people, she came with our manager and a few people, and we had a group breakfast in that sense. But then of course we exchanged numbers and then the rest is. So that's how we met, at an award function.
Thank you. So that leads me to the next question. Who is more disciplined at home?
No, don't leave my personal life out of it. You asked me about my professional life and my politics. I don't want this to be a coffee with Karan.
Okay, done. Daman, over to you.
Yeah. What drives you beyond ambition? So there's a quick rapid fire kind of.
I think purpose, like a sense of purpose to do something for the people, for the country.
Who or what has been your biggest influence in shaping your journey?
A lot of things. I mean, starting from family, both my mother and my father, to my school, my college, my upbringing, everything. I think everything actually, quite frankly, really shapes the way you see the world and really influences you, right? And most importantly, your own parents. So yeah, I would certainly say both mom and dad. Look, I chose the field of finance, and I am a trained chartered accountant. So yeah, maybe doing something in the area of wealth management.
One leader, global or Indian, you admire the most?
Does a leader have to be alive, or could I just refer back to
Any.
Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel?
Great.
I'm avoiding all sorts of controversy.
Thank you so much, Raghav. That was incredible.
Thank you, Raghav. Thank you so much. We have a very small tradition at YFLO where we plant a tree in your name as a symbol of growth, legacy, and the impact that you continue to create. So may I please call upon some of the supporters that we have in our audience today who have supported us in bringing this evening together. Mr. Raghav Chadha from Avendis, Nidhi Ahuja from Ahuja Sons, to facilitate Raghav, please. And I would also invite our floor past chairs, Jayanti Dalmia ji, Poonam Mahajan ji, governing body members, YFLO past chairs, Gayatri, Aradhana.